Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Today's video is going to be a testing a new makeup video. So I have some new launches from the drugstore, some new high-end launches. Some of these are getting just a lot of hype. I've been really curious to try some of them out myself. I did pick up a few things from Haus Labs. I actually got these a few weeks ago and I've been wanting to try them out on camera for the first time. So I actually haven't tried them yet. And then I also have some products from Milani I'm going to test out. I am going to be using the new Makeup Revolution IRL Filter Foundation, which I have used a few times. And then I thought I would use the Too Faced Better Than Chocolate palette. I have one of the Urban Decay lip balms, all kinds of things. So I just thought it'd be fun to sit down on camera, apply the products, see how they work, and just kind of hang out with you guys. I love filming these videos because I feel like they're a little more casual. It's fun just to sit down, do my makeup, and chill. So let's jump into it. The first thing I'm going to try out is a lip balm. This is from Milani. It's the Keep It Full Max Bombshell. It is a plumping lip balm. I really like Milani's lip products, and I don't know if this comes in additional shades. This is the shade 100. So it has a nice big doe foot applicator, and I always like to apply lip balm before I do my makeup. It kind of has a sweet scent to it. It's not overpowering, but it's a little bit of like a sweet, fruity scent. So I can feel a little bit of a tingle already. I'm also going to use the primer from Milani. This one is the Erase Base Blemish Control Primer. So this one is a lightweight gel lotion texture with a semi-matte finish. It's supposed to help control oil, and it does have it has 2% salicylic acid in it. So I do have breakout prone skin. I feel like I'm kind of breaking out around my nose, which is weird, but we were traveling, and traveling always does weird things to my skin. Typically when I do get a breakout, it's on my chin. So this is going on nicely. The last Milani primer I tried was I think it was like their oil controlling primer, and I didn't like it. That was a while ago. This one definitely feels like it's going to be more of a true oil controlling primer. And then let me just apply some to my forehead. So today, I am going for more of a matte look. I've been using so many cream products, so many glowy products, and I used to really only do like fully matte looks, and that's kind of what I'm feeling today. Just like a little bit more of a glam, full coverage matte look. So this foundation is perfect for that type of look. It's the Makeup Revolution IRL Filter Longwear Foundation. So I have two shades. I originally picked up the shade F5, which is a little bit too dark for me. So I recently got the shade F3, which is pretty light. Let me actually swatch them for you just in case you are looking to try this foundation. But I do think once it dries, it does oxidize a little bit. So here's F5 and here's F3. F3 is definitely too light. So I'm just going to mix in a small amount of F3 just to ensure that F5 isn't too dark. I did get a little bit of a tan this last week when we were out of town, but not much. My skin doesn't really tan. I just end up with a lot of freckles when I'm out in the sun. And I was really good about wearing like SPF, wearing a hat, covering up if at all possible, but we did spend a lot of time outside. We went to Tennessee. I had never been there before. It's really, really beautiful. We did just like a lot of different outdoor activities. So inevitably, I feel like I just end up with freckles. Which, by the way, there's nothing wrong with freckles at all. When I do videos where I'm applying makeup, a lot of people are like, why do you cover up your freckles? I am definitely like an all or nothing type of person when it comes to makeup. This is going on a little bit light, but again, it will oxidize once it dries down, so just keep that in mind. I feel like the primer underneath is kind of balling up a little bit, so it must not be mixing well with my skincare. I did my skincare a few hours ago. Sometimes I feel like if I do my skincare routine and then I do my makeup a few hours later, makeup doesn't always apply as well, and I just kind of have to refresh my skin with like a priming spray. But I don't know, maybe it's not working well with the moisturizer that I have. I've always been a fan of more matte, long-wearing base products because my skin has always been so oily. And in the past, I did have really, really acne-prone skin, and it is still acne-prone to some extent. Not quite as bad these days, but because of that, I've just opted for more full coverage, long wearing matte foundations. And now that my skin isn't quite as acne prone, I don't always feel like I need or want as much coverage, but it's really hard to find light coverage products that are long wearing and mattifying. A lot of tinted moisturizers, a lot of skin tints look so pretty, but they tend to be really hydrating. And as much as I do love hydrating base products, I have a few foundations in my collection that are on the more hydrating side. they don't always last as long as like a long wearing matte foundation, which typically tends to be medium or full coverage. And I just typically have the mindset if I'm going to take the time to apply makeup, I want it to stay in place all day long. And I do like more of a medium to full coverage base when I'm taking the time to apply eyeshadow, bronzer, blush, highlighter. I feel like it just kind of all pulls everything together. My skin is a little bit red, and I feel like, I don't know, typically I do like the look of a more medium to full coverage base. So I usually just go in with foundation or skip it completely because I do embrace my natural skin a lot, especially as I get older. I probably wear makeup like 4 times a week and then skip it 3 times a week. So the foundation's looking a little bit light. I think I mixed in just a little bit too much of F3. I must have underestimated how light that was. But like I said, this does have a tendency to oxidize, so I'm going to give it a second to dry down because I think it will dry just a little bit darker, hopefully enough to kind of make up for it because, yeah, it is looking lighter than it normally does. So I don't think I really even shared my thoughts on this foundation as I was applying it. I like this formula a lot. So originally I got the shade F5, which when I swatched it, it was too dark, so I wasn't sure if I was even going to try it out. But I figured instead of running out and buying an additional shade, I should try the one I have to see if I even like it. And I was so surprised by how much I liked it because, again, I think we typically do have this association with full coverage foundations that they're going to be super heavy, really cakey, uncomfortable. Full coverage foundations have come such a long way. This is such a lightweight, smooth texture, and I feel like when I wear this foundation, it just kind of glides over any textured areas, whether I have a breakout or, you know, my cheeks as a whole tend to be an area that are pretty textured, and it doesn't look bad around my nose like a lot of foundations do. I just wish I didn't go in with so much of the shade F3, but it's fine. It will even out in the end. So I am going to apply the Catrice True Skin Concealer. I'm going to mix 2 shades. So I have Cool Cashmere, and then I also have Warm Macadamia. I'm just going to take Cool Cashmere and mainly go in with that one. And then I just added a little bit of Warm Macadamia to balance it out. Again, I kind of have a weird mix of brushes that I'm working with right now. I wouldn't normally use such a big brush to blend out my concealer, but because we are out of town, I need to wash a lot of my go-to brushes. I need to reorganize my brushes, probably go through and declutter them. I have a lot of good brushes, but I feel like I can never find the one that I'm looking for just because I have the most random mix. For powder, I'm using the Essence All About Matte Powder. You guys, I just opened this last week and I already hit pan on it because where we were in Tennessee, it was so hot out, and that is kind of where I feel like I used my 10-minute makeup routine because it was just so hot, and there were days where I wanted to wear makeup because, of course, we were with family, we were taking photos, we were doing all kinds of things, and honestly, I'm so glad that I brought this. Typically, when we have traveled in the past during the summer, when we do travel, I bring this with me because it is the most mattifying powder I've tried. I've been using so many cream products, so many glowy products, but honestly, during the summer, I feel like my best bet is just more of a matte base. I think it's just a lesson in learning to balance makeup trends and then techniques that work for you, because right now everyone is all about like the glowy base, and I like a good glowy base. I've definitely come to appreciate cream products, but sometimes it's just not my most ideal option as someone who has very, very oily skin. So I feel like it's fun to try the different trends, and there are always things that you can adapt and incorporate into your routine, but you also have to just find the things that work with you and stick with them. Okay, I'm at the point in my routine where I could definitely use some bronzer, so I'm going to be testing this one out. It's the Haus Labs Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer, and I have the shade Light Level 3, which after swatching it, because I've swatched it and it swatches beautifully, I think this will actually be a perfect shade. It also just has a very velvety, soft texture, so I'm excited to wear it. I feel like it's going to be really good. I'm using this brush. I always get questions about this one. It's from Complex Culture. It's the Press and Set Bronzer, but I'll list all of the brushes that I use in the description box. So I'm just going to go in with a small amount and just kind of press that into the skin. It looks pretty subtle on the skin. Honestly, I didn't apply a ton to my brush because I wasn't sure, but I feel like maybe I have to load the brush up a little bit more. So I did apply a good amount to the brush. It is pretty. It's very, very soft. I actually really like the undertone of this. And when I opened it up, I thought that it was going to be the perfect undertone, not too warm toned, not too orangey. That looks nice. It looks really natural. I almost feel like I need to go in with a little bit more though. I'm not necessarily going for an overly bronzed look, but I guess maybe I'm trying to make up for the light foundation a little bit, but that looks really pretty. It's definitely blendable. It doesn't have a glow to it. Like, it is a true matte bronzer. I feel like maybe I went with a little bit too much on my forehead just because I was layering it up. It's definitely a soft buildable formula. So you can get a really natural look and then you can build it up. I wouldn't say you could get much more pigmentation than what I have on right now. So let me just apply it to this side as well. Okay, I just got up to look in different lighting to see what it looks like. I'm not sure that this is my favorite bronzer. I feel like it looks a little bit flat on the skin. I do have more mattifying products going on today, but I feel like I have a hard time when it comes to bronzers because I do like a little bit of a glow. And after I swatched this product, it kind of felt and looked like it would have just a slight luminosity to it in a really, really natural way. But this looks pretty matte on the skin. I do really like this color, but I want to try it out a little bit more. I want to try it with more of a hydrating foundation, and I don't know, I'm not sold on it, to be honest with you. These products are kind of expensive, the Haus Labs products, so I'm definitely going to try it out a few more times before I do a full review, but instantly, it's not my favorite bronzer ever. I'll come back to the cheeks for blush and highlight, but I want to do the brows. So this is the Catrice Volume and Lift Brow Mascara. I have the shade medium brown. That might be a little bit light. I placed an order on the Catrice website probably about a month ago, and actually this could work. And I grabbed this because I do love brow gels that have fibers, that have pigment. Ooh, this is going on really, really nicely. It definitely has a good amount of pigment to it, and I feel like the shade matches pretty well. I've been on a big NYX Thick It Stick It brow gel kick for like the last few months, but I just wanted to try out this formula. Look at the difference between the two brows. I feel like there is a drastic difference. This is a pretty wet formula, so I feel like I went kind of heavy-handed right in the front, but after it has a chance to dry out, I feel like it will have the perfect consistency. So I'm going to give that a second to dry down. Let me do the other brow. Unfortunately, this is my problem brow. I can never get this one to look as good as the other one, no matter what I do. So this goes on really nicely. I am going to kind of define them a little bit more once this dries down, but it's very easy to work with. I really like the brush on this product because it's small, it's really precise. And my issue with the NYX Thick It Stick It brow gel is that the brush is so big, so it's kind of hard to apply the product precisely. It ends up getting everywhere, and I'll have to go in and clean it up a little bit, which isn't that big of a deal, but it is nice to have a smaller, more precise brush to work with. I'm going to let the brow gel dry and prime my eyes, and I'll be right back. I just filled in my brows with the Urban Decay Brow Blade. I feel like I could use a spoolie to comb through them because the brow gel was a little bit more pigmented than I thought it was going to be, but I feel like it will be perfect after it dries out for maybe a week or two. Okay, let's move on to the eyes. I'm going to be using the Too Faced Better Than Chocolate palette. I did get this in the mail as PR. I don't normally get PR from Too Faced, but this did show up at my house, so I thought I would test it out because it is a really pretty neutral palette with a few pops of purple, and then there's a blue in here as well. So I know a lot of people love the Too Faced chocolate bar palettes even still. I don't know which ones are still available. I did have them in my collection. They were so well loved, so well used. Eventually I ended up decluttering them because they did get pretty old, so I'm curious to try this out and see if the formula has improved over the years because it's been a while since I've had one. So let me start with the shade Nice Buns. I'm just going to blend this into the crease, and I am dealing with some dryness on my eyelids. I am using a new eye cream, not new to me, just it's the Drunk Elephant one. It hasn't worked for me in the past, and then I had it in my skincare cabinet and I thought I would try it out again, and it just creates dryness because I do like to apply eye cream under my eyes but also on my eyelid right here, and I'm just going to go back to what I was using. I'm just taking the shade Lick the Bowl, and I'm just going to blend that one even a little bit higher as more of a true transition. That's good for now. Let me do the other eye off camera and I'll be right back. I'm going to take the shade Cake My Day and blend this in the outer corner and then also into the crease. The shadows are going on perfectly. I have no issues, but they're really smooth, very easy to work with. I would say they have a little more pigment than I thought they were going to. I remember the chocolate bar palettes in the past being blendable, but I don't remember the pigment being as intense. These are not over the top intensely pigmented, but it doesn't feel like you have to go in and layer the shadow up for 10 minutes to get good pigment. Like, these are really, honestly, performing perfectly. I'm actually going to take that shade and just blend it on the lower lash line while I have it and just kind of connect it to the outer corner just to create more of a seamless look. This palette definitely has a chocolate scent, in case you're wondering. And then again, let me just do the same thing on the other eye. I can't decide what to do for the lid. I think I'm going to take this shade, Reality Chalk, and it feels a little bit flaky. I feel like I might get some fallout with this one. I'm just going to blend this on the lid with my finger. This is actually going on really nicely. It's pretty. It's such a gorgeous, almost like foiled shadow. There is definitely some fallout though, so I'm going to have to go in and clean that up afterwards. I really didn't experience any fallout with the matte shadows, but even though this is really smooth and it's applying nicely, there is some fallout with it. That is a really, really pretty color though. To finish the eye look, I'm just going to take a little bit of the shade Ooey Gooey right in the center, just to kind of add like a highlighted effect. That's really pretty. I'm definitely happy with this palette. I mean, again, a little bit of fallout, but that's not the end of the world. I'll just do my eyes first when I use it. I think the shadows are really pretty. It's nothing, it's not an over-the-top look, but I feel like I got, a somewhat dramatic brown smoky eye in just a few minutes, and everything blended nicely. For eyeliner, I'm going to be using this one from KVD Beauty. It is the Tattoo Liner. So I've tried this in the past, but I recently got some comments from you guys. I have to shake this one up. It says shake well. I recently got some comments from you guys saying that the formula changed. One thing they've always done well is their tattoo eyeliner. So I thought I would try it out again. I like a good, intense, dramatic black liquid liner. I can't ever talk and do it at the same time though, so just give me a second. Honestly, no issues with the liquid liner. I drew it on the back of my hand as well because I wanted it to dry down and I wanted to actually try to smudge it, and it's not moving. So I don't know. I'll see how it actually wears on the eyes, but it feels like the regular formula to me. Okay, let me do mascara. So this is from Rare Beauty. It's the Perfect Strokes Universal Volumizing Mascara. I think this was a point perk, or I got it as like a gift with purchase when I placed a Sephora order, but I've heard really good things about the Rare Beauty mascara, and I haven't tried it. I really like the option to try mini mascaras if at all possible. First of all, I feel like mini mascaras last a long time. Second of all, I hate to commit to a high-end mascara without knowing if I like it or not because they are a little bit more expensive. This has a pretty big brush, which honestly, looking at it, I can't tell if I'm going to like it or not, so let's just apply it. I feel like I've really only heard good things about this mascara, so we will see. And I'll skip the false lashes today so we can get the full effect from mascara. I have been wearing false lashes a little more lately, but I don't know. I went for really dramatic ones in a recent video, and they were kind of high maintenance. Like they took a while to apply, and then I could see them out the corner of my eye. I just prefer to usually stick with the Ardell Demi Wispies, which are a little more, they're pretty natural. But more dramatic lashes are so fun. I saw someone on Instagram that recently got lash extensions and it made me miss mine. I haven't had mine since like the very beginning of 2020. Anyway, this mascara is going on really nicely. I think it's doing a good job at separating the lashes. I can definitely tell that there's volume, a little bit of length. It feels like a formula that's going to build well. Okay, I'm going in with the second coat. Initially, I really like this mascara. I think it is definitely a good option. Like sometimes you just know when it comes to mascara, or at least I know when I don't like something like right away. That's only 2 coats of the mascara. I feel like it completely opens my eye up. The lashes are lifted, they're curled, they're separated. I like it. I feel like the true test is, will it work on the bottom lashes? Because there are so many mascaras that look good on the top, but they don't always work on the bottom too. So let's see. I think it looks good on the bottom too. So I'm excited about this one. I feel like this is a really nice mascara. For blush, I have this Item Beauty Blushin' Like cream blush in the shade It's Verified. And when I swatched this, I just tried to tap it off, but it's a cream blush. When I swatched this, I was really curious about the texture of it because it almost has like a cream to powder texture rather than like a true cream texture. I love it. I already know that I love it. So when I swatched it, I think in my haul video, I was just like, this is going to be such a favorite. I already know it. It looks so pretty. This is the perfect texture, especially if you're someone who is intimidated by creams, because sometimes when it comes to creams, especially if you're wearing mattifying products like I am today, they don't always sit well on the skin. This honestly went on perfectly. It looks so smooth on the skin. I feel like I have a little bit more on this side. So I don't know why I just added more. I need to add a little bit more on this side, but it's perfect. I love everything that I've tried from Item Beauty so far, including this blush. Okay, so it's time to try the other Haus Labs product. Do I have a brush for this? Yes. This is the Bio Radiant Gel Powder Highlighter. The packaging is so stunning. It's just beautiful. Again, when I swatched this product, it looked really smooth, really, really pretty. I don't know. I'm kind of picky about highlighters and bronzers. I'm not usually like that when it comes to blush, but I am with highlighters and bronzers. So it went on nicely. Again, I don't know that it's like my favorite formula ever. Let's do this side. Again, because I do have texture on my cheeks, I feel like highlighters can be kind of tricky. I don't know. I'm just not instantly sold on these Haus Labs products. I almost feel like maybe they swatch a little bit better than they actually apply to the skin. Like when you touch this product, it feels really smooth. Let me actually swatch this product because it just doesn't look like anything special on the skin. And it almost has like, does it have glitter in it? It just doesn't look great on my skin. It doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look as good. I always compare everything to the Becca highlighters because those are still my favorite after all this time. I don't know, and like as I'm blending it out on my hand, it almost feels a little bit dry. I don't know. I'm just not sold on it. I feel like based on this application, I wouldn't purchase another shade because I was kind of looking at, I think they have like a pink toned one that I thought would be so pretty as blush, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like anything special. And the Haus Labs products are kind of expensive. The highlighter is $40. So I don't know. It has really good reviews. It has 314 reviews, 4.8 stars. So a lot of people are saying it's really smooth. Oh, this person says glittery and dry. That's what I feel like. I don't know. It just looks kind of glittery on my skin. So I'm not really into it, to be honest. The last thing I want to try is the Urban Decay Vice Lip Bond. I have the shade Safe Word, which I feel like just goes well with my look. So I just wanted to line my lips really quickly just so I can make sure I kind of stay within that lip line. This is really beautiful packaging. It's very similar to their Vice lipsticks, but this one is more of like a liquid lipstick, so you can screw it off and screw it back on. And then it has a doe foot applicator. But I know you're supposed to shake these up. Okay, so let's give this a shot. The color is really pretty. I don't know how to show you talking while I apply this because I don't know if it matters if it touches your top lip. Maybe I'm thinking of the Lady Gaga product or the Haus Labs one because there's one kind of similar from them. It's hard to know when it's completely dried down because it looks shiny no matter what. So it's been about 2 minutes, so I feel like that's probably enough time. Oh, okay, maybe not long enough because it did transfer to the back of my hand. I applied a little bit more. Let me wait 5 full minutes. I feel like that will be sufficient time, and then I'll try it out again and see if it's transfer proof. But I like this color. Honestly, I wasn't 100% sure about like a lacquered finish that didn't dry down that lasted all day long. But my issue with a lot of, long-lasting matte lipsticks is that they're really uncomfortable, they're really dry. This doesn't necessarily feel incredibly comfortable, like you can feel that there's something on your lips, but I don't know that it would be as dry or uncomfortable as like a true matte liquid lipstick. So I'll wear it throughout the day and keep you posted on how it wears and how it feels. While I'm waiting for this to dry down, let me share my final thoughts on some of the other products. The Milani Lip Plumper feels really, really nice. If you're looking for a drugstore option and you don't want to spend a lot of money, then I do like this one. It's not overly uncomfortable, but there is a little bit of like a warm burn as you apply it to the lips. So depends on whether or not you like that, but I do think it was a little bit effective at plumping my lips, and they felt really smooth and hydrated the entire time I was doing my makeup. I really like the texture of the Milani primer. It just didn't seem to interact well with my moisturizer, but I'll try it with a different moisturizer because I do have a lot of moisturizers I love, and if it layers nicely on top of other formulas, I'll definitely incorporate this into my routine. It left my skin matte, but not uncomfortably dry, and foundation went on nicely. Speaking of foundation, I do love this one. I've tried it a few times. I think it looks really smooth on the skin. It definitely has a matte finish. So if you don't like matte foundations, stay away from it. But if you have oily skin, it is long wearing while being really comfortable, really smoothing, super lightweight. I think F3 is just too light, even to mix in with F5. I feel like I just need to get one of the LA Girl mix-in pigments. I have the blue one. I just need the one that lightens foundations, and that will probably be more ideal. F5 really isn't super far off for me, so I feel like I could just stick with this one and be fine. This palette was great, at least what I've tried so far today. I'll test out the rest of the shades and then do a full review soon, but the matte shadows were perfect. The shimmer shadow that I used today, this one, definitely had a good amount of fallout. So I would either do your eyes first or make sure to use like a setting spray and maybe wet your brush before you go in with the shimmer. But I like it. I think it is like a good staple neutral palette. If you're a fan of the chocolate bar palettes or you like browns and neutrals, then I think you would enjoy this. I really like this Rare Beauty mascara. I'm excited about this. So when the Sephora VIB sale rolls around in what, like a month or two, I'll probably end up grabbing the full-size version of this. And then Haus Labs, I'm sad to say, I'm really not impressed by these products. I was really excited to try their products after the rebrand. I love the packaging, I love like the new marketing, the different photos, the products they released, but I'm really not impressed by these formulas. If I change my mind, I'll let you know, but I'm pretty sure that these are not going to be staples for me. I won't say they're the worst products I ever tried by any means, and I like the bronzer better than the highlighter, but they're expensive, and there are so many other options out there that are less expensive that I like better. So these were disappointing. Is that everything I tried? The Catrice Brow Gel, really, really nice. And oh, the Urban Decay lipstick. Okay, it's been probably 5 minutes at this point. Sorry, my camera cut out just as I went to show you guys. It's transfer proof. There's nothing on there. There's like a little bit of shine, so whatever glossy layer was on there will probably wear off throughout the day. But I'll see if it remains comfortable. It's not the most comfortable lipstick I've ever worn, but it's definitely more comfortable than a matte liquid lipstick. So if it holds up, I feel like it could be a really good alternative on days when I want something really long lasting. So I think that's everything I have to share with you guys in today's video. Thanks for hanging out with me as I tested out some new makeup products. Let me know in the comments below what you want to see me test in my next video. Actually, I'm planning on doing a full face of e.l.f. and then I'm also planning on doing like my quick 10-minute makeup routine. And then also I have on my calendar coming up a full face of drugstore makeup. So I probably won't be testing out a ton of new makeup over the next few weeks, but if there is a launch you want me to incorporate into one of those videos, let me know and I'll definitely do it. But thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you guys very soon with a new one. Bye.